Well, good morning. I'm Father Chris Townsend. I look after the Lenten appeal for the Archdiocese of Pretoria. And I just want to ask you, how's your Lent going? And if we ask this question, we're probably going to say, it's been long. Some might say, what Lent, Father? When did we stop Lent last year? I've been listening to a lot of podcasts recently about a thing called long COVID, where COVID is just taking a lot longer to recover from. And we know what long COVID feels like because we have spent a year in some form of lockdown. And so when we look at Lent this year, we're looking at a year that is just a continuation of last year's Lent. But we've also got to look at it as changed people. And if we're changed people, what is that change? I'm broadcasting to you today from my dining room. I had to celebrate Mass here for a long time, nearly 100 days. It was a very different experience. I had to learn about neighbors and to keep an eye on neighbors because some of my neighbors got sick. I also had to learn in the lockdown time just how tempting it is to do nothing, how tempting it is to despair. And that is the reality that we're all living as we continue living this long lockdown, this long Lent, this long COVID. In Daniel chapter 3, the first reading for today, we see the king throwing these three young men into the furnace, and he says, make it 7 times hotter. And you might well say, well, Lord, you've made my Lent 7 times hotter this year than it was last year. It's been very hard. Recently, I went out to celebrate a birthday with some friends, and there were a couple of people together, and we said just how nice it was to be together. We've learned that a lot of things need to be thrown away. They just don't work for us anymore. And then what works, we must hold on to. And so the 3 men in the fire in Daniel chapter 3 say to the king, even if God doesn't rescue us, our faith is that strong. It has grown that much stronger. And so as you face this long Lent, as we face this long COVID, as we face the very long wait for the vaccinations, we face the third wave coming, and we know it's going to come. Where is your faith? How have you deepened your faith? Have you used this Lent as a time to deepen your sense of, well, here is God, and here is what God is doing? And if we celebrate that, we begin to understand just what Jesus means when he says, know me, deepen knowing me. And then there is truth in this. And that's the truth that we celebrate when we have a look at the gospel for today. It's a truth that just simply says, I trust God. And if your Lent hasn't been building up trust, you're in this Passion Tide. We're 10 days away from the beginning of the Holy Triduum, the 3 high holy days. Ask yourself, what thing has been coming up for you that you really need to spend some time looking at? What is the thing that you really need to focus on? You've got a week to do that, so that when you enter into this very strange Easter, no washing of feet, no processions, no gatherings too close. We've got to keep a distance, and it makes it difficult to have those Easter Sunday celebrations. We've got to ask ourselves simply, have I deepened my faith? Have I deepened my sense of purpose? Have I deepened, as the Lord Jesus says in John chapter 8, the truth that has set me free? And as we deepen this and we come to the fact that sometimes we haven't done much for Lent, it's just been too exhausting, too much, then simply ask the Lord, Lord, guide me, that I may understand once again that wonderful psalm that we began Lent with, Psalm 151, which says, not 151, the psalm that says simply, Lord, restore in me the joy of your salvation. And as we approach our high holy days, as we approach all the craziness that's not going to stop because of Easter, we know that our trust is in God, and our trust is in God's truth. Thank you.